What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Port Adelaide's Marsh Series Game 2 against the Western Bulldogs that happened in Whyalla on Saturday afternoon. Port Adelaide getting the job done by 10 points in a thrilling encounter in what was a beautiful day down at Whyalla. So let's get straight into this and see what we took away from the Marsh Series Game 2 against the Dogs. Now, it was a brilliant game of football to watch from both teams. A lot of free-flowing footy, a lot of very skillful plays from both sides, and they looked pretty competitive for most part of the day. It was a tough, hard contest. It was actually treated like a proper round game that you'd see during the AFL season. So it was definitely one that a lot of people, I reckon, were taking a bit of interest out of, and a lot to take away as well, because they're two teams that I personally believe are on par in terms of where they stand in the AFL ladder and where they want to be coming up this season. So both fighting for a top 8 spot, maybe pushing for a top 4 at their best. And they showcased that on Saturday afternoon when the Bulldogs were pressing early with their great ball movement, and Port Adelaide's defence was holding up really well. The likes of Jonas and TBJ, Tom Cleary, Ryan Burton were just showcasing their skill down back and beating their contest. Josh Bruce looks really good in the Western Bulldogs jumper as well. So the game was sort of won and lost, purely with whatever end you were kicking at. If you're kicking to the left of screen, that's where the wind was. It was a 2-3 goal advantage, and both teams did take advantage of that throughout the day, especially Port Adelaide coming home with the win in that last quarter. 5-1 certainly helped them get across the line, with Jared Leonard kicking a couple of goals, being an unlikely hero. The game in itself, as I said, it was a really good one, a really tight contest, plenty of skill about, and plenty for the fans to take away, thinking they're going to have a pretty positive season. One negative, though, that was for Port Adelaide is the injuries of Lysette and Dixon. They look to be pretty minor, with Dixon going down with a little groin issue, and Lysette, I'm pretty sure both were just taking precaution. Any sort of niggle or anything like that, they took him out of the game. It was the same with Dan Houston as well, who only played half a game, and he went off. I'm pretty sure it could have been a little bit to do with his head knock that he got in the first quarter, that sling tackle. It could have been just precautionary to keep him out of the game as well. So 3 big downs during the game for Port Adelaide, which makes the win a little bit more creditable as well, considering 2 big guys that you're out. And you could see that as well when Lysette and Dixon went down. Port struggled to move the ball, and then they changed it up a little bit, went smaller, both in the ruck and around the ground, and Westhoff playing that main role in the ruck helped Port play a different style of footy, which was able to obviously get the win. The efforts of Sam Powell-Pepper surely can't go unnoticed. For me, best on ground in a performance. I think a lot of fans will take a lot of positives away and be pretty happy with his performance. Both Marsh Series games now, his new role, showcasing his pressure up forward and his ability to use the ball pretty well, considering what he has done in the past. He's a lot smarter with the footy. He's got a bit of pace behind him. His pressure's immense. His tackling's obviously everything that we've always wanted from Pep, and we know he can do that. But to see him do that on a consistent basis is really good and really positive for the coaches and himself as well, and for the fans. I mean, you see that every week in, week out, that type of effort. You're going to win the ball most times, and it's going to end up in a positive result on the scoreboard. So for Sam Powell-Pepper, his case is made. That role is perfect for him, and I can't wait to see what he can produce in the coming weeks in round 1 and then going forward into the future. Another one as well was Todd Marshall. His ability to get a hand in the contest, really. He took some pack marks. His smartness with the footy, I can never question that. He was always a pretty smart footballer coming through the ranks. And what's one thing we've wanted as fans, and it's patience with Todd, because we know his capabilities and we know what he can produce as a footballer, but it's just getting that potential and ticking that box. And I think you've seen glimpses of it in the past, but just not enough. And hopefully this year he can do that. But on the weekend, he was definitely able to showcase that a little bit more. His skill, not only at ground level, but in the air, kicking ability, and his smartness with making the right decisions, and then kicking at goals, usually pretty good as well. So for him, a couple of goals and just a fantastic day out. Get around him! Get around him! Yeah, that's right. It's Boak watch time. We spend a minute on your favourite player. Well, I say your favourite player, he's my favourite player. But he's everyone's favourite. That's what a lot of the unsung hero is, Travis Boak. And we've got a minute to talk about him. And I tell you what, he started off a bit slowly, to be honest, during the game. He was not hitting his targets as much as he'd like. He missed an easy goal in, I think it was the second quarter. He should have kicked it, took an advantage from a free kick. And it's just, it took his time to get into the game. But the second half, when Houston went out, he impacted the contest magnificently. 29 disposals at 69% efficiency. And then that last 10 minutes when we needed someone to stand up in the middle, Boak was getting the clearances out. He ended up with 7 in the end. He had 6 score involvements for the day and 5 tackles throughout the middle. So if you're a fantasy man, 97 points as well. But his ability to hit the contest, he's a good midfielder. Just as simple as that. But for Travis, it's simply just continues his form from 2019. He's had 2 really good Marsh Series games. And we'll go into round 1 at peak condition after spending some time with the All-Stars. He's had 2 great Marsh Series games, a fantastic internal trial. The man is in tip-top shape, ready for round 1. So overall for the Marsh Series game 2 against the Western Bulldogs, it was a close game in Whyalla, which by the way is a beautiful, beautiful ground. The scenery is fantastic. To have 5,000 people there to witness, it's sort of a historic day, really, with obviously the sponsorship with GFG and the ability to bring the club and the community together is awesome for everyone involved. So it was a fantastic spectacle to watch on the field and off the field as well. The crowd getting involved. It was really sensational. A sensational day of footy, really, and there's nothing really more you can take away from it. Best 22 is going to be a tough one to pick, though, that's for sure, because a lot of people are putting their hands up, and whether they put 5 minutes into the game on the weekend or put the full 4-quarter performance, some people just stood out more than others, and it's going to be hard to pick in a couple of weeks' time for round 1. But tomorrow I will be picking my best 22 that will be coming out 4 p.m. on Tuesday, so make sure you get ready for that. Tune in and make sure you let me know if I'm right or wrong, but it's certainly a tough one to pick, let me tell you that much. But it's going to be a fascinating round 1 coming up in 2 weeks' time. I cannot wait. The preseason is done. We've beaten the Crows in the other 23, beat the Lions in Marsh 1, we beat the Dogs on the weekend, we won the internal trial, which, obviously you can't lose as a poor player, but you still won, so we're in tip-top shape, so it's the perfect preparation as we wanted for pre-season going into our 150th year. Thanks for watching, Port fans. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide content coming your way across the big 2020 AFL season, so make sure you get on that. My name is Anthony, and as always, go on the pair.